Election Day is come and gone. Welcome aboard for the Wednesday, November 5th edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Mark Mumford.
Many of you may have been up burning the midnight oil last night, and that certainly holds true for Town Manager John Klim. That's our lead story. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
The Town Manager provided analysis all night as WXTK News Radio suspended its regular programming for wall-to-wall election night coverage.
Here's a sample of how it went. The coverage was hosted by WXTK News Director Matt Pitta and was simulcast by the folks from the Cape Cod Community Media Center on Channel 17.
Race here in Massachusetts. So John Kerry has defeated our Cape Cod native John Beatty of Harwich. That bulletin just coming in from the Associated Press. Really no surprise there. We talked with Jeff Beatty earlier today. Let's bring John and Jim into that conversation. And you know, he gave it a good run. He had run for Congress before, but this was really not a winnable race. You know, John, what's your thought on that?
I think that clearly is accurate. Mr. Beatty did run a spirited race, but obviously he's running against someone who has a lot of stature and years of experience in the state, and no surprises there.
The Barnstable Town Council is preparing for tomorrow evening's meeting in the Town Hall hearing room.
Kevin caught up with Assistant Town Manager Tom Lynch for a preview.
We're very pleased to be with Tom Lynch today, who's going to give us a heads up on this week's Town Council agenda. As I understand, Tom, there's actually a special meeting of the Town Council on Wednesday, so there'll be two sessions of the Town Council. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the special meeting tonight?
This evening, the Council's meeting in joint session with the school committee. They have two tasks in front of them. One is to select or begin the process for how they're going to select a replacement for Peggy Dandridge. There's a process under the charter they have to use, and they're going to begin discussing that process. And then secondly, they're meeting to continue on with their discussions around budgetary issues that are affecting the municipal side of government and the school side of government. So that'll be a working session held in the Selectmen's Conference Room at 7 o'clock this evening.
So getting into tomorrow's Town Council session, November 6th, the superintendent will be starting with her annual school facilities update, and that will be a presentation before the council really gets into the heart of their agenda. Could you tell us a little bit about what she's going to be discussing?
I think annually she looks at what the school facilities are. She's had a group that's been working on school consolidation, a variety of things like that. So I'm sure those issues will come up. But I think it's also to talk about the capital needs that are there for the school, and then they'll go into their regular business meeting.
On the agenda, there are two items that are of old business that the council can go ahead and vote on.
Yes, I think the first one is the one that's been on for a while with the Community Preservation Committee, where they had a Community Preservation Committee approved $108,000 for the Barnstable Housing Authority to purchase a couple of units over at the Flagship Estates, and I think there were several questions that were raised by councilors. I think those have been addressed, and they're going to get those before the council, and hopefully have a vote on that measure.
The Flagship Estates, that's located in Hyannis?
Yes, it's where the old Harry's is. It was that condominium development down at that end of town.
Okay. And one other item of old business is I understand the Airport Commission is looking to acquire some land on Airport Road.
The Airport Commission at the last council meeting had a workshop, and they talked about their redesign plans for the terminal and the redesign for the roadway and the traffic patterns that will be getting to and from the airport. And one of the things that they asked for through that workshop, and the item that went on a couple of weeks ago, was for an eminent domain taking of one parcel so they can complete the road, and then an appropriation of monies. The council votes on those even though they come from surplus funds that the town council, that the Airport Commission has. So there are a couple of issues there. This is going to be, I think, a well-debated issue, because there are strong concerns that some members have about the whole eminent domain process, and other councils have concerns about how the whole project is going to proceed. So I'm sure that the Airport Commission, the attorney for the Airport Commission, will all be there to, to answer questions, and there should be a fairly vigorous debate on that issue.
Let's shift gears a little bit and look at what we have for new business coming up this week. I understand there's a couple grants that the town is looking to has been awarded and now may be accepted?
There are two grants that I think around $2,500 each, one on the conservation area, through the Barnstable County Land Management Program, where they'd be dealing with some invasive gray willow that's out there in one area, and then there's also in the Danforth property, there's management of a walking trail that's out there. And then there's actually a third grant that's to be accepted through the Arts Foundation, where to help with the Harbor Your Arts program and continue that program and the growth of that program.
And so the last couple items on the for new business for the town council this evening are conservation restrictions. Could you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, these are parcels. There's one in Osterville, I believe there's one in Cotuit. These are areas where individuals have decided that they're not going to do any further growth on them. So the town gets an advantage if they accept the conservation restriction, that there is an additional development on the properties, might preserve open space or vistas. I know the Barnstable Land Trust will be presenting these. These are actually a first reading, and they'll probably be hearing on it in a couple of weeks.
Tom, we thank you for coming on the show.
And I would be remiss if I didn't, congratulate all the voters who got out and voted, and our town clerk, Linda Hutchinrider, for the wonderful job she did yesterday in terms of handling over a 78% voter turnout in the town. Some precincts were as high as 84%.
The Town Council's last meeting revolved around 2 workshops, including one on the local comprehensive plan.
In this segment, Town Councilor Rick Berry launches an inquiry which was eventually fielded by the outgoing Interim Director of Growth Management, Patty Daly.
I mean, we're talking about affordable housing in the town and so on and so forth, and I see affordable housing coming by way of being able to increase density. As long as you're on a sewer system, and as long as obviously you're not putting so much into the sewer system that the system won't function, optimally.
I think there are a number of reasons why a sewer or flow neutral policy is proposed. A lot of what limits growth in the town right now is Title V and the limit on the amount of wastewater you can put in to your lot.
The system could handle a 10-bedroom house, of which we are going to reap tax benefits on a 25,000 square foot house. Why don't we want to do that?
That's one reason. I think it's a community character issue at one level. How much do we want to build out each and every parcel within the town? Secondly, and I think more importantly, is what Joanne said, which is that in terms of planning for new sewers and finding areas to dispose of treated effluent, which you're correct is clean, but putting that much water into the ground creates other problems in terms of changing, the hydrology in the area. So in terms of sewer planning, there are limits to how much we can collect, treat, and dispose of in the town, and I think we saw that when we went to permit the site off of Route 6.
As far as upcoming meetings here in town are concerned, there is a joint session of the school committee and the town council this evening at 6 in the Selectmen's conference room. Then 2 sessions at 7 with the Charter Commission in the hearing room and the Highness Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission in the school administration building. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, it's the town council at 7 in the hearing room.
In weather, we'll have to get used to the clouds for a while. Tonight, periods of rain with patchy fog. The winds will be kicking up as well, with temps hovering in the mid-50s. Then tomorrow, showers likely, winds dropping back to about 10 miles per hour out of the northeast, and temperatures stuck in the mid-50s.
And don't forget, the Health Division has the second of 3 flu clinics tomorrow at the St. George Greek Orthodox Church. It runs from 10 until 1. The cost is $3, and it is for Barnstable residents only. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.